Hello everyone, my name is Ms. Key, and welcome to my third grade classroom. Before we get started on this awesome adventure known as the third grade, I would first like to talk to you about the different kinds of assessments. Now, you may be sitting there thinking, what is an assessment? Don't worry, I will explain it to you. An assessment is an evaluation of someone's ability, or in this case, it is an evaluation of each and every student in my class. There are two different kinds of assessments. The first type is known as formative assessment. Formative assessment is how I will monitor the student's learning. I will be able to identify their strengths and weaknesses and address them immediately. An example could be me asking questions in class, like asking the class what's 2 times 5, or what is the third planet from the sun. It could also be me walking around the classroom and monitoring each and every activity that is going on. Also, in my class, I will say, ready, set, show. When I say these 3 words, my students will know to hold up either 1, 2, or 3 fingers. If they hold up 1 finger, that means, wait, stop. I still have a lot of questions, and I'm confused, and I'm lost. If they hold up 2 fingers, that means they're kind of understanding it, but they still have a couple questions. If they hold up 3 fingers, that means that they have mastered it and that they understand it completely. Formative assessment could even come in the form of quizzes. And quizzes help me to see how much that my students have gained from what I've taught. These are just a few examples of formative assessments. The next type of assessment we will talk about is summative assessments. Summative assessments evaluate the student's learning. They have a higher point value than formative assessment. Now you may be sitting there thinking, well, what is a summative assessment? An example of this is end of grade testing. This is actually the first year for your students to experience EOGs in the subjects of both math and English. But don't worry, I will make sure that they are more than prepared to take them. When I use the variety of formative assessments, it will have a great impact on the way I teach. For example, here in the third grade, we are going to explore over our multiplication tables. If I have students who are ready to move on to their 7 multiplication tables, but I also have students who are still struggling on their 6 multiplication tables, I can put them each into groups that will help them improve and learn in the areas that they need the most. If I say ready, set, show, and I see a couple of students who are struggling with our grammar lesson about when to use commas, I can work with those students to see that they gain the understanding that they need. It's important for me as a teacher to assess so that I can evaluate and observe how I teach, and I can also see what my students are learning. Here in North Carolina, we have the Ready Initiative. We need to see that our education prepares your students not only for the next grade levels, but also for graduation, college, careers, and beyond. The Ready program wants to take the steps forward to help each and every child. We use the Common Core Standard. It is our standard course of study. The Ready model sees just how well each student is learning and where we should make improvements. By using my assessments, I am able to place students in a group that will be beneficial for their learning experience. For example, if I give a quiz in math, I can see where some students excel and where they might need to improve. I can then break up their class into small groups and put them in a group that will best help them learn and gain the information that they need. I can also work one-on-one with the students who need the most help. If they are working in small groups or individually in the classroom, I will be walking around, monitoring, and giving the necessary feedback in order to help them improve their understanding. If they hand an assignment and do poorly on it, I can give them feedback in order to help them understand in the clearest way possible. I will help them until they understand a subject completely. It is my goal as a teacher to see that each and every single one of my students succeeds. There are also a variety of general assessments. For example, authentic assessments or real-life assessments. Here in the third grade, for our science class, we will learn about the properties of matter, and we will do various experiments exploring how some substances can be a solid, liquid, and gas. In our social science class, we will explore different kinds of geography, and the students will have to Created
Created using Powtoon.